is John C. Morley here, sir, entrepreneur. Welcome to IFYL. By the way, and happy belated Thanksgiving to all of you that have hopefully had a great day. Hopefully, didn't eat too much turkey and not too much food or dessert because that wouldn't be too good, right? Anyway, there's a QR code at the top right hand corner of the screen. If you're new, just grab your smartphone, um, take it, and point it over on that QR code. Touch the little yellow oval, and you'll get my link tree with lots of great information to improve your life. Don't forget to check out John's recent articles. I just published one not too long ago that actually went up a couple hours ago, and I think you guys are really going to like it because this article that I actually published talks about something that we hear a lot about and we hear a lot of propaganda about it. But the truth of the matter is that it's not the truth. So, what I want to share with you is this article, and I hope you will definitely choose to, definitely choose to read it. I think you're going to really enjoy it. The article is actually called "Password Programs Come with a Cost," and it talks about the fact that a lot of these password programs out there, in fact, there isn't really one out there that has great security to it. I don't want to take away the whole gist of the article, but definitely read that. I think you guys are going to get a lot of benefit from it. So, you know how we work, everyone. We start on a Saturday, we roll all the way through the week, and we end up on a Friday, 7 day cycle with a master topic. We'll get to that topic in just a moment. I do want to thank you for popping in. I want to thank our friends, colleagues, and wonderful associates for coming back. Do you know in December we're going to be celebrating pretty soon a year of IFYL being on the air? I am really psyched. Yes, we're going to have a small cake. Inspirations for your life. So our master topic comes in just a second. I hope today that you guys took my advice, and that advice was to unplug from technology during your Thanksgiving dinner and plug into your family. I was at our club today here in Florida, and it was nice to see everyone with their phones down, except there was one table toward the end of the room, and there were like 4 or 5 kids, and they all had their heads buried. Now you might say, "Gee, just because they're kids, they should be allowed to do that." No, they shouldn't, because there's other things that could be done, to involve them. I think it's just really bad when parents use technology as babysitters, like at a family gathering or something like that. So just really unhappy with that. Master topic. Show everyone ready? How to create balance. All right. So we've got one more day to talk about balance, which is tomorrow after tonight. But I'm going to talk about why we need balance in audio. So balanced audio is going to give you better, stronger of a single signal without any kind of extraneous noises. Unbalanced audio is going to pick up noise interference and not good over longer distances. So, is balanced audio necessary? Well, it's much better, especially if you're doing things professionally. So, what is a balanced input? So, balanced connections are often referred to as alternatives to unbalanced or audio gear. They're used in professional applications. Balanced connections carry audio signals over the cables that are typically much longer than those in your home studio and likely to be exposed to lots of potential sources of interference. So, when we think about this, let's ask, what the heck is the difference? So, unbalanced connections are analog electrical connections, such as those between your turntable, your amplifier, and things of that nature, the plug from your phone or your speaker. And they're basically single ended, or we call them unbalanced connections. And it means that a single conductor plus a shield that provides reference to the ground acts as a current return for the complete circuit. And so the standard plug for this type of connection is an RCA for home audio. And you might see a more rugged 1/4 inch tip sleeves, where the one, which is the tip, has one wire on it, and then the other side of the metal column has the other wire on it. And they're great for electrical musical instruments. Also, the 3.5 millimeter is very, very popular. So balance cables. So professionals will route signals via balance cables in an effort to reduce noise created by interference from EM or electromagnetic radio, frequency sources like AC mains, fluorescence lights, motors, and of course cell phones. And they all can induce noise in cables conductors. And the goal is to basically eliminate the noise, or they call it noise immunity, and to reduce the influence of EMI on the wanted audio signal, and to keep the audio clean and free from those hums and those buzzes that you sometimes hear. So, using a matched pair of connectors in cable or two complementary versions of the same signal are sent simultaneously. The hot signal is the signal we're trying to send in its original, or the 0 degree phase to other endpoints. And the cold signal is the phase inverted. So the 180 degrees out of phase version of the same signal. So the principle used here is called differential signaling. And the concept relies on the balanced input stage of receiving the equipment amplifying only the difference between the hot and the cold lines. So just to repeat that again, the hot signal is the signal we're trying to send in its original format, 0 degree phase. And the other import of the cold signal is the 180 degree out of phase version of the same signal. So think of balanced audio as, like I said, active noise canceling. But it's a little more than noise canceling. It adds the ambient acoustics, which I think are pretty cool. Like if you sing in a place that has great acoustics, it's a lot better. So when you use balanced audio, you're going to have a more professional, a rich, healthier sound. Now, it may not be critical for some for microphone levels. If the cable is run more than just a couple feet, it's not likely to encounter a lot of interference like power cables will. In a home environment, connections between audio components are usually short, so using a balanced connection is not always likely, and it's not required to provide much benefit because the more reliable professional XLR connectors, will handle that. And so, what's a balanced headphone output? So there's something called higher tier amplifiers, and they started to offer balanced outputs to drive appropriately the wired headphones. And with the wired headphones, we have our positive and our negative phase versions of the same audio signal that are sent to the terminals of the headphone drivers. And it's a little more accurate to call these differential drives rather than balanced, but the name seems to have stuck with much that has gone on. Now, most headphones are wired with 3 poles: a 1/4 inch, a 3.5, or the TRS type, which we call. And since each headphone driver has a positive and a negative input for a total of 4, the two negative terminals of the drivers are connected together at the jack sleeve and to share the return path to the amplifier. And this is referred to as single-ended, as only the positive terminal of the connector carries any voltage, just like in the unbalanced connector described just from me a few minutes ago. Now, headphones and having them work efficiently use balanced drive signals, and it requires 2 independent conductors for each ear. So a 4-terminal connector and a 4-conductor cabling are needed. So there are 4 standards for balanced headphone connectors: the 2.5 millimeter 4-pole jack, 4.4 millimeter 5-pole jack, the 4-pin XLR, and the 2 3-pin XLR. So, all right. So a lot of times you might be at a studio and they might have just a standard XLR. Now, the thing is, most of the XLRs you probably have use a 3-pin XLR. That's what a lot of them use. But if you use the 4-pin XLR, then you're using a balance. So just remember what I was saying before. I think this will probably make a lot of sense to you guys. Again, that there are 2 complementary signals on the line. So the hot signal is the signal we're trying to send in its original or 0 degree phase to our other endpoint, and the cold signal is phased inverting at the 180 degree out phase version of the same signal. So that's called the cold, the one that's inverted. So again, when we think about being in balance in life, a lot of times we feel that balance is not required until we get a chance to understand what unbalanced looks like. For example, if you've never been used to balanced audio or balanced microphones, and suddenly you hear unbalanced audio, no big deal, right? But then you hear balanced audio, like, oh, now I understand the difference. So let's talk a little about that. Many of you guys have cars. So when you drive around, there's different kinds of balance. When you're in the car, there is a front balance, okay, front to back balance, and then there is also a left to right balance. So let's talk about those. The left to right balance is pretty standard. So the left to right balance, if the knob is or the digital is all the way to the center mode, you will be getting 50% in the left, 50% in the right. If you have it just off a little bit, let's say from the far left, and you have it turned just off a little bit, you're going to get basically 5% from the right, okay? And you'll get like 95% from the left. Why is that? You turned more to the left, so that's what's going to be more heavy. And the one that you're off with, that's the one that's going to be lighter. Same thing with the front to back balance. So you have a front to back balance in your car. And the way that works is that when the digital potentiometer or when the manual potentiometer is in the center, you're going to get 50% in the front, 50% in the back. When that is, let's say, at almost a few degrees away at 5% on the right, and let's say that the right side is actually going to be usually your back, that will mean that you're going to get 95% out of the back and only 5% out of the front. Pretty cool, right? So balance in our life is important because when things are balanced, they just sort of flow. Whether we're talking about chemistry, we're talking about our bodies, balance, equilibrium, we're talking about accounting, science, right? Being balanced doesn't seem like something, but when something's not in balance, like the tire we learned about, right? We could have safety issues. Tire could blow out. We could get rattling, but then we could have a serious problem like a tire blow. And because we could have treads that could get really low, and then that could cause compromising of the tire and the safety physical structure of it. But balance is actually a way of making sure that there's an equal this way and equal that way. When you, let's say, do exercises, you want to be balanced. You're going to do some repetitions on the left of the body, and you're going to do some on the right. But you're going to do, the same number on the left and the same on the right. And people would always say, if you don't do the right ones, like if you did, let's say, 25 on the left leg and you did 20 on the right leg, oh, don't do that because you'll walk funny all day. Well, that's not true. But it's not good to be out of balance. So when you're in balance, we're going to get sharper signals, right? That's one thing we learned. We're going to get the correct answer. We're going to get more of an understanding because things are going to flow better. When we're in balance, we're going to be able to see the clear picture. We're going to be able to hear the clear sounds. We're going to be able to have something not fall when it's in balance. So tomorrow we got a lot more to talk about as we wrap this up, but I want to share with you because balance is something that our lives, and we have a joker on here. I'm going to put a timeout here. Again, these jokers don't seem to get it, and I got to let you know this year. We got a couple jokers on here. They put their X-rated crap out here, and they're just showing how ignorant they are. They put this X-rated content out, and they try to get it through our chat, but we block it. And I just want to tell you from the XYZ network, which is actually owned by Google, you're just showing how stupid you are. Now, I never put people down. That's not my philosophy. But when you're going to come into a motivational thing that I'm putting on and try to, let's say, dismay our audience with your crap, I'm going to rip you a new one. Because anyone that thinks they have the right to come into one of my sessions or anybody else's session and put this X-rated crap, which we don't even care about. Okay. Anyone that does that tells me that they're a jerk, that they're a person that's only thinking about themselves. So I have no respect for them. And you know, I have respect for everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, I am John C. Morley, Sir Entrepreneur. It has been an amazing privilege, pleasure, and honor to be with you this Thanksgiving day. I do hope that you had a wonderful Thanksgiving day. I hope that you spent time with your families and friends, and that you got to eat some good turkey and not too much pie, and you really got to just take a few moments of gratitude. And I would say before you go to bed tonight, if you haven't already, just sit up in your bed and just think about all the things you're grateful for, just for a few moments. And as you do that, I promise you more things will come into your life that you can be grateful for. So remember to like, love, and support the channel. Definitely comment below. Tag your friends, colleagues, and associates. Share this out with everyone you know on social media. Then go to my YouTube channel, John Space C, Space Morley, Space Zero Entrepreneur, and look for that key phrase to help keep our content free. Make the choice, ladies and gentlemen, to buy my team and I a cup of coffee, a piece of cake, or perhaps just a cool, refreshing beverage. Either way, we're going to be grateful with those pennies and dollars. We'll invest them into new hardware, new technology, new equipment, new software, even new facilities to give you the most jaw-dropping, motivational, inspirational content to empower you to change your life if you really want to. So we have a lot more to cover tomorrow about balance, and we're going to wrap up kind of some of the other balances and explain why balance is an attribute in life that we all need to take seriously. Because we don't, and if we don't, it could affect our safety, could affect whether people perceive us as being a jerk, and it could affect our level of success. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your night. And you know what, everyone? I'm actually going to see you guys tomorrow. So take care.